Who was the first prophet in Islam? Adam. Which prophet built the Kaaba with his son? Ibrahim. Which prophet was swallowed by a whale? Yunus. Which prophet split the sea by Allah's will? Musa. Who is known for interpreting dreams? Yusuf. Which prophet received the Zabur? Dawood. Which prophet's people were destroyed by a storm of stones? Lieutenant. Who was given the Injil? Isa. Which prophet was known for his patience? Ayub. Which prophet was tested by being asked to sacrifice his son? Ibrahim. Which prophet was known for his kingdom and ability to speak with animals? Suleiman. Who was the father of Yusuf? Yaqub. Which prophet's people built tall structures in defiance of Allah? Hud. Which prophet was thrown into the fire by his people? Ibrahim. Who is known as the friend of Allah? Ibrahim. Which prophet's miracle was the staff turning into a serpent? Musa. Which prophet was known for his eloquent speech and was brother to Musa? Harun. Which prophet's people were destroyed by an earthquake? Saleh. Who was the last and final prophet? Muhammad. Which prophet was raised to the heavens and will return before the day of judgment? Isa. Which prophet was given the Torah? Musa. Who was the son of Zachariah? Yahya. Which prophet was given the title Seal of the Prophets? Muhammad. Who was the grandfather of Yaqub? Ibrahim. Which prophet's people were destroyed by a great flood? Nah. Which prophet was given wisdom and a beautiful voice? Dawood. Which prophet spoke directly to Allah on Mount Sinai? Musa. Who was the mother of Isa? Maryam. Which prophet's people were punished with a plague for cheating in trade? Shuaib. Who was saved with Noah in the ark? Believers. Which prophet was known for his justice and wisdom as a king? Suleiman. Which prophet's wife disbelieved and was destroyed? Lieutenant. Which prophet rebuilt the Kaaba after it was damaged? Ibrahim. Which prophet was granted long life and is believed not to have died? Idris. Who was known as Dhul Kifl? A righteous prophet. Which prophet's people carved homes in mountains? Saleh. Who was tested with loss of wealth, family and health but remained patient? Ayub. Which prophet led the children of Israel after Musa? Yusha. Who was the prophet during the time of Pharaoh Ramses? Musa. Which prophet's son was a prophet and inherited his knowledge? Dawood, Sulaiman. Which prophet was imprisoned due to false accusations? Yusuf. Which prophet's birth was miraculous without a father? Isa. Which prophet debated with Nimrod? Ibrahim. Which prophet's people denied him despite the sign of the she-camel? Salih? Which prophet's people were punished with violent winds? Hud. Who was the first child to accept Islam? Ali ibn Abi Talib. Which prophet was the father of Ismail? Ibrahim. Which prophet spoke from the cradle as a baby? Isa. Which prophet's father was Azar, who made idols? Ibrahim. Which prophet is mentioned most in the Quran? Musa. Which prophet had 12 sons, including Yusuf? Yaqub. Who will blow the trumpet to announce the day of judgment? Israfil. Which prophet's dua was, "My Lord, increase me in knowledge"? Musa. Which prophet migrated from Ur to Canaan by Allah's command? Ibrahim. Which prophet was described as mercy to the worlds? Muhammad.